Two, please. By the advocate. He was waiting in line when the music started playing. He was the only one who could hear it. Not that this was abnormal, as there was never a moment that he experienced silence. But this time was a bit different, as it seemed the tune was original rather than something remembered. Is it a message from the universe? Or another crack in our leaking mind? The knot sound grated against his patience. The tune was awful, and the pacing was off. To him it sounded like a grade school recital where someone's special boy was attempting a Beethoven sonata, and it was clear he hadn't been practicing. This is torture. I know we haven't studied music theory, but this can't be the best we can do. The person in front of him had long ocean blue hair that fell into chaotic curls to the small of their back. He tried to escape the music by tracing individual strands through the wild jumble. Part of him imagined holding them down and shaving their head while they struggled against him, but he kept focusing on the strands, trying to ignore the vivid imagery. That would be funny, horrible. Why are we like this? I wonder what their face looks like. The music got louder, trying to take up his whole attention, filling him with a sense of rising action, sounding less like a rhythm and more like a piano falling down the stairs. He cast around desperately to find something that could distract the self that couldn't be controlled. The people around him seemed to blend together, most looking at their phones or staring off into space, none speaking to each other, much less looking at anyone else. These people are stuck. I bet they talk about the weather. I wonder if they even look each other in the eyes. As he watched them, a fire began to spread throughout the room. Their silence turned to piercing screams, which melded with the crescendo of the music. As the skin of those around him began to crack from the heat, the smell threatening to choke him, he closed his eyes forcefully and blinked a few times, and when he opened them again, there was no fire, the people whole again. Man, you really are insane. He laughed, ignoring the strange look one of the previously burnt corpses gave him. That time it was just you, not we. You know, you can't separate yourself from the horror in here. It's cruel to claim credit for all but the painful. He waited for a response, but the music chose that moment to break into its second act. Some of the themes from the beginning were there. He was actually surprised that it was starting to sound better the longer it went on. The line moved forward, distracting him for a moment. You know I'm not real. A shudder went through his spine up into his neck. It caused him to suddenly crick his head to the side as the energy forced its way through him. A broken sound, like a gasp or a sob, almost escaped him, but he held it back. Fuck you. If that's true, then stop the music. The line moved forward again, and he moved with it. The music made them seem to be dancing a waltz. The people moved in perfect time to the beat. He wished he could run, that he could hide, but there was nowhere he could go that he wouldn't be. So instead he kept walking forward. Oh, so now you're playing the quiet game. I don't know why I would want you round anyway. Ours is obviously a toxic relationship. The front of the line loomed closer. The music was starting to lose its way, flowing into random tangents, no longer keeping any sense of cohesion. He gritted his teeth and tried to focus on the voices of those around him, which, to his surprise, were suddenly all foreign languages he didn't understand. He balled his hands into fists, nails cutting into his palms. I don't need you. Without you, I would finally have some peace, finally be normal. He was next in line. As he moved forward, the floor opened up, and he fell into empty space. Stars surrounded him, unimaginably far away. There was nothing but him in this space. The music became a sparse but gentle lullaby. He was forever alone, surrounded by unreachable light. As he floated in the darkness, tears flowed around him as he realized how much he depended on the voice that constantly spoke inside of him, that instead of being a burden, he was lucky to have a companion who was always there. He screamed into the void, "I take it back! Real or not, I don't want to be alone." The cashier cleared her throat, forcing him back to reality, and with a raised eyebrow she said, "How many tickets, sir?"